Hi everybody. Today we're going to make these granny square hearts. And then we're going to be making a little bag to stuff all sorts of goodies in there. And it'll have a little hangy thing. I wanted it at the side a little bit. I thought that would be interesting. What we're going to need for this project is a stitch marker. I always say is optional. Our tapestry scissors, and again with the all famous H hook, 5.0 millimeter. And today's yarn, I'm going to be using this Super Saver Ombre, which apparently I got at the thrift store. This was a brand new skein. I normally don't buy this one, so it does have a little bit of a thinner feel. Not by much, but a little bit. So we're going to be doing some projects with this. And this color is Jazzy. I grew my dog named Jazzy. It's funny. And I was noticing this pattern. I might tear this open and take a look at that. Looks like it would be fun. I'm not into making the furniture. I'm not into making apparel, but I've got an idea for something that I think would be really groovy if that gives it away. So I'm starting to get that started, but I literally need to get some Valentine stuff up for us. All right, let's go get our supplies, and I will meet you right back here. Okay, so we're going to start with a slip knot. And we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in that first chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to join. It doesn't matter what loop you grab. If you grab one, or if you try to grab the top 2, or you grab the back one, it won't make a difference. So I'm just going to grab that top loop, push that tail down, and then I'm going to grab my yarn. I'm going to pull it through. We just made a little circle. And in this first round, I'm going to get my fingers to just kind of feel it. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to take my tail with me. And in that circle, I'm going to do 2 more double crochets. It's a normal granny. There's 1, 2. Do 1 more double crochet. And now we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And we're going to do 3 more double crochets into the circle. There's 1. 2. 3. Chain 2. Again, we're going to do that again. We're going to do it until we have 4 of these. That's 1, that's 2. To do more sets. 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3. Chain 2. And then 3 more double crochets. You can just pull your little loop, you know. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. And then we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. And in the top of that chain, first chain 3 is where we're going to join. So there's 1, there's 2, and here's the top of that chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, I'm just going to grab one loop and just join. And that is our first round. Now, for the next round, we're going to, okay, there are different ways to do the granny square, but for this project, here's where we just joined. In the top of these 2 double crochets, we're going to slip stitch until we get into this space. So go in there and grab your yarn and do a slip stitch. There's 1. I'm going to go into the next one, go in there, and there's 2. And then again, I'm going to go into that space and do another slip stitch. Now I'm in my corner. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's do 2 more double crochets. We're in this space. There's 1. And there's 2. And then we're going to chain 2. And in the same space, we're going to put 3 more double crochets. This is kind of a standard, well, I don't know if it's a standard granny, but it's the most common granny. Okay. So there's 1 corner. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to chain 1 or anything. We're going to immediately go into our next space, and we're going to repeat this. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And that's what we're going to do in these next 2 corners. No chain 1, nothing. Straight into the next chain 2 space. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And I'll meet you, friend there, meet you when we get back to the end. There's 2, and then there's my last one, 3. And again, here's that chain 3. Sometimes it's easier to find your double crochet and then just go up. There's 1, there's 2. So this very next stitch next to it is going to be the top of your chain 3. And again, I'm just going to pull 1 loop, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch. Okay, that's round 2. This is what we have. And now I'm going to introduce you to the treble crochet. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we've got our single crochet in the corner, and we're going to be doing our heart top here. Now, first thing I want to mention is to keep this hand, your yarn hand, relaxed. If you have your tension too tight, these stitches are going to like really buckle down, and we want them to stand up. These are those trebles. So this is how we're going to do it. I need one of those movie things. It goes, take 1. Because right now it'd be take 11. All right, the treble crochet. We're going to wrap. Okay, we're going to go into our stitch. And we're going to pull up a loop. But as we're doing that, we're keeping your left hand, my right hand. Keep that tension loose, okay? So that we can pull this up. And now I'm going to move my fingers up to control these loops. And now I'm going to yarn over, grabbing the first 2. That's 1. Move up the stitch. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go through 2 more. That's 2. Move my fingers up, yarn over, go through 3. And so that single crochet helps anchor it back to the sides so that the stitch isn't just like wild and crazy. Now what we're going to do, after every treble crochet, we're going to chain 1. Let's do the treble crochet again. We've got 6 more to do in this space. Yarn over, into our space. We're going to grab our yarn, and as we do that, my finger is going to come down to give me all the slack I need, and my hook hand is going to be pulling it up. Now once I get to the height I want, I'm going to move my fingers up to get control of the loops I just created. Yarn over, 1, 2, move up, yarn over, 1, 2, move up, yarn over, 1, 2, chain 1. Chain 1's important. Gives it that little space there. Okay, that's 2. Let's do it again. Yarn over, go in here, and we're going to grab our yarn and we're going to start giving it slack, and then we're going to pull it up. I'm going to grab the base of it. And then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to count to 3. So there's 1, move up, yarn over, 2, move up, yarn over, 3. Treble as in 3. Okay, so we've done 3, chain 1, yarn over, go in there, and as I'm pulling, I'm giving all the slack. My hook is pulling it up. Then I'm going to move my fingers up, get my yarn again, count to 3. So yarn over, 1, yarn over, 2, move up, yarn over, 3, chain 1. All right, let's do one more at the slow pace. Yarn over, go in there. As I'm pulling it, give me slack, pull that up, grab that base, yarn over, count to 3. 1, move up, yarn over, 2, move up, yarn over, 3. All right, chain 1. Let's do another one. So yarn over, let's go a little bit faster. Go in there, pull up, grab the base. Now we're going to count to 3. And if this turns over a little bit, no worries, it'll line out. I'm going to grab the base, go through 2, yarn up, yarn over. There's 2, and then move your fingers up, yarn over, 3, chain 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do one more. Yarn over, pull it up, and we count to 3. 1, move up, yarn over, 2, move up, yarn over, 3, chain 1. Into this next space, we're going to anchor this with a single crochet. Into this next space, we're going to repeat this. We're going to do 7 treble crochets. And so we're going to yarn over twice. I'm going to go this a little bit faster. Go in there, grab your yarn, give it slack, pull up, grab, yarn over 1, move up, yarn over 2, move up, yarn over 3, chain 1. Okay, that's 1. Let's do it again. Yarn over, in there. Give that slack, pull it up, grab the base, yarn over 1, yarn over 2, yarn over 3, chain 1. Yarn over, give it slack, pull it up, grab the base, yarn over 1, yarn over 2, yarn over 3, chain 1. Yarn over, and then we're going to keep this going. Chain 1. So just make sure you have 7 and make sure you do the chain 1. Rows. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and when we get 7, I will meet you back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. All right. When you get your 7 at your pace, this next space we're going to anchor it with a single crochet. And that is how that's looking. Like a triangle. So let's give it some definition. And the way I'm going to count this is we've got these blocks of 3 double crochets. And then we've got these spaces. So I'm going to just put a single crochet and I'm going to count to 3. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 1 single crochet. 1, next one, 2, next one, 3. And then here we are, the next 3 double crochets. We're not going to acknowledge the space because there's not a chain space in there. It's just the next stitch. So we're going to count to 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Now on this chain 2 space, we're going to do a single crochet in that space, chain 1, and then another single crochet in that space. Okay. And here we are here. So with that chain 1 space, that single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, you may have to pull it over so that you can see the top of this double crochet. And we're going to put 1 single crochet. So there's 1, 2, 3. We don't need to count them. I'm just pointing out where we are. Now, this last set is weird because we slip stitched over to the corner. So what yours is going to look like is that your stitches are probably a little tighter and they're going to be kind of on the front instead of on top. So all you have to do, and it won't matter, you can grab both of them. You know, if you want to grab both of them, it is tight. Or you can just grab one loop. There's one. And there's the next one. There's two. And then the last double crochet. Three. And now we're at that single crochet that we started with. And we're going to put a single crochet on top of that one. And for this next section of all these trebles, when you pull it apart, it looks like a mess. This here is from this granny square, so that's, we're not going into that. We're going into the tops of these trebles. Okay, so it could look deceiving, like you're supposed to go over here, but we are not. So this first stitch is actually this first treble. Okay, and then this stitch is the chain one, and then there's the next treble. Okay, so how we're going to do this to make it simple is we're going to go into this treble, single crochet, in that chain one space. We're going to go into that space with a single crochet, and then we're into our next set. Top of that treble, single crochet, chain one space, single crochet. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to go stitch, next one space, stitch, next one space, stitch, next one space, stitch, next one space. And now we're at, oh, we have one more. Here's another stitch, and then that space. And this is the actual single crochet that anchored those trebles. Normally we would go in the top of that, but we're not. We're going to go down where we actually made the single crochet, and we're going to slip stitch. Okay. And now it makes this all like everybody wants to be here. So just going to pull it apart a little bit, and I'm not going to get confused by, this is actually from the row. These are those 3 double crochets from the row before. We're going to ignore those because we're not going into those. We want to go into these. So I'm going to put my finger to close that off, and I'm going to find my first treble, and this is the top of it, and that's where I'm going to go with a single crochet. And in my space, there we go. And then that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do stitch, space, until we get through the 7 stitches. I'll meet you at the end of that. Stitch, space. Okay, I'm going to move my fingers and separate this. This is the single crochet that anchored our trebles. So I'm going to go into that stitch with a slip stitch. And then I'm going to chain 1. Okay. All right, that's much better. So what I wanted to point out is by going down to that bottom, it kind of helps your heart. Because I just did it and I didn't do that, and I looked like an acorn or whatever, and it did not look right. So that's why sometimes that's a little thing you can do if you want to bring something in, is just go down the row before with a slip stitch, and then it'll help bring that down a little bit. Oh, like that. So now what we're going to do is we've got our two, you make another one, and once you get your second one, I'll meet you back here and I'll show you how we're going to put this all together. Okay, so we have our two hearts, and the way we're going to join them is we're going to put, this is the right side, it's the pretty side, and then here's the back, which is known as the wrong side. And we're going to put the wrong sides together like a sandwich. So we have the right side here, and then the right side is also facing down. All right, so I'm left-handed, so the top of this heart is going to face me. If you're right-handed, top of the heart is going to face you, because we're going to start at the end of these trebles and work our way around. Okay, so let me get mine facing correctly. And how we're going to do this is we are going to join with a single crochet. So let's get our slip knot first. It'll be so nice when I get this playlist system going, because I'm about to be, as you guys know, I'm about to start a very beginner series. I've gotten a lot of feedback for that, so I'm in the beginning process of getting that together. All right, so let's look at our heart, and here's all those trebles, and then we have those single crochets on top, and we joined into this first space right here. So if I pull this apart, I can see very tiny little join right there. I don't think it's even going to show up, but tiny little stitch. And then this bigger stitch is actually our first single crochet. So I'm going to get my slip, I'm going to get my hook, and I'm going to get it started in there so I know where it's at. Okay, get your yarn down here. And then on this other one, being that it's upside down, the stitches want to be on the other side. You know, facing up, it's curved up toward us. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to just bend it back toward us. So we've got all those trebles, and actually it might be easier. See all those trebles, and then here's a single crochet, that first single crochet. And I know because it's got the two little lines going up. So I'm just going to hold that with my fingers, and I'm going to turn it around. Okay. And then, now I know I've got the right stitches, because these look completely different from the back side. Now, got my yarn in my hand. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to pull it through. Get the tail out of my way. And then I'm going to yarn over. Got those two loops. And that is a single crochet join. And if that's too difficult, you can always tie it on and then go in there, grab it, pull it up, and do your single crochet join. And all these things will be explained in those beginner series. All right, so now we have ourselves joined. And so what we're going to do is, you know, that granny square that we did. Okay, so you see the 3 double crochets? There's a hole here, and then there's a hole on the other side. So when we lay our heart together, I can feel it. There's that one, And then I'm going to just reach my fingers in there and on that one. So I've got 3 on that side and I've got 3 on this side. So this is how we're going to do it. I'm not going to worry about my tail. I'll sew it in later. So that is 1 single crochet, and it's going to count for that first double crochet. So I'm going to do, got my finger here just to give me a gauge of where I am. I'm going to put another I'm going to put another single crochet and then another single crochet. So I'm going to have 3 single crochets to count for these 3 double crochets. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to eyeball it and go through. Now, so we're just going to go in and we're going to pull it up, and then we're going to do another single crochet. And now, still got my spot here. I'm going to pick up the next single crochet, and I'm just going to go at a diagonal and do a single crochet. So that is 3. Now we didn't do a single crochet in the space. We went straight into there. So let's just get our fingers here, and we're just going to do 3 more.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, did you hear that? That was my computer doing something weird. All right, so
I can't help you with that here.
Siri off. That's not creepy. All right, so I'm just going to do 3 more. 1. Just eyeballing it. There's 2, and then there's 3. And now we're at the peak, and it was a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. So I just want to put 3 single crochets in this bottom. So there's 1, there's the second one, and if I have to, I'll stick my finger in there. The chain 1 can be a little tight sometimes. And then I'll just look in the back, and then I'll find it back there. There's 2, and then this last single crochet, there's 3. So I got my space here, got my space here. There's those 3 double crochets. I'm going to do 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Now I'll move to my next space. 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets. Gotta watch it because that space wants to make itself a space, so gotta make sure we just got the 3. Okay. And honestly, I'm kind of pulling it out a little bit so I can see myself. Now I'm gonna do 3 more. And that's what we're going to do. There's 2, and then I'm going to do 1 more. Okay. Now, all right. So for this here, we did a single crochet for the stitch, and then we did a single crochet for the space. We did one for the stitch and the space, and that's what I'm gonna re-mimic. Okay, now we are at the treble crochet with the chain 1, and we did 1 single crochet in the stitch and 1 single crochet in the space, and so that's what we're going to mimic. So I'm just going to get my finger into this first section And that's all I want to try and do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to say that is the stitch, and then there's a space. This would be the stitch, and I mean, you see me, I'm just making sure I'm grabbing all the stitches. And this one. And then I see another stitch, so I'm going to go straight to the back. There's another stitch. And we're going to continue that until we get to the top of the heart right here. And I'll meet you back here. Just remember, stitch, space, stitch, space. Now, this is where things are going to change just a little bit, because we don't want to sew this together. So what I was going to do, what I did on here, is we're going to put a trim on both sides. So let's go with the front loop, or the front piece. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go down into this heart, and I'm going to slip stitch. And I'm going to pull that tight. So it helps bring the heart down a little bit. Now I'm going to find my first single crochet right there. And I'm going to continue to do one single crochet in each one of these stitches. And when we get down over closer to here, I will meet you back here. All right, we're back here. Got another stitch here. And then that was stitch space. Now I'm going to join in the top of this first single crochet that we started this whole trim with, just to anchor this trim here. I'm just going to do a slip stitch. Keep that tight. And now I'm going to flip it over. And now I'm going to repeat what I just did. I'm going to skip this one, and I'm going to go into this first one with a single crochet. And then I'm going to carry on up the row, and then we're just going to do one single crochet in all of these, and when we get to the top of this heart again, I will meet you back here. Got just a couple more here. And on this one, you know, we did a slip stitch down to the bottom. We're going to do that over here too. We're not going to go up on top here. We're going to go into the space between these trebles. With the slip stitch, I'm going to do a chain one for now. Okay, doesn't look like much right now. Turn mine back right side up. All right. Yeah. All right. Now let's do our little handle. So we did a slip stitch. I'm going to turn mine back to the front and in like this first bit right here, this first stitch right here. It's really hard to see in this light. But we drop down, and then this is the actual chain one. I'm going to join in this first chain one. And the way I'm coming at it is my hook is facing me, and I'm going to pick that up, grab my yarn, pull it through. Now I'm joined to the front, And we are going to chain 35. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to keep my heart down because if not, it's going to be like beating me up. And I'll meet you back when we have 35. And this is where we are going to join it to where it all began on the side. And it really isn't going to make much of a difference. So this is where all those joinings are going on. I wonder if I came up, there we go. Maybe that's a little bit better, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell on the monitor. But this is where we joined so that we can start our back trim. That's where I'm going to join. I'm going to go into there. Even if you went down 1 stitch or up 1 stitch, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Join, and we're going to chain 1. Finger length. Okay. I'm going to sew these ends in real quick. And I don't mind that it looks like a pair of lips. But yeah, I just rolled it over. Yeah. All right. Where's that? I went to the Dollar Tree and I really want the conversation hearts, but these are not exactly it. These are Smarties. I've already tried it. I was hoping it was going to be my conversation hearts that I have to have every year. Yeah. And, ow, let me show you what else. I'm not going to open these up, but these were also at the Dollar Tree. Oh, really cute. So each one of my men going to get one of these. I guess that should be my husband. And then these for the kids. But yeah, they've got these little, just these little hearts in here. So you can even open one of these up and just dump it in here. But when I made this, I was thinking about these little boxed hearts. And you can't see, but... So, yeah, I'm going to make these maybe in a little bit more manly colors, like maybe red and white. And see how that goes. All right, and now I am going to let you go. I've got now 2 videos I need to edit so I can get them up to you. And then I'm about to start working on some hair scrunchies, just a little extra, starting February, hair scrunchies. Because my hair is now getting long enough to where I can wear them. And when Mary Beth's hair gets long enough, she'll be able to wear them. So there we go. So here we go. We can still do these before Valentine's Day. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.